Thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate it. Want to thank the forum for having me here tonight, and I want to thank all the other folks here I've had a chance to chat with a little bit about our business and our startup, and look forward to sharing that with you. RoomsDone really is here to solve a problem. Now, it was interesting enough, we were chatting earlier, this problem's been around for a while. How many people here stay at hotels regularly? How many people here have to wait for their room? It's a pretty common problem. Well, really, rooms are inventory. If you really think about it, what's the biggest problem in retail today? Out-of-stock inventory. If the product's not there to buy, you go somewhere else. And in some cases, people choose to just not buy. They move along. Luckily, with hotels, you typically have to stay somewhere. But hotels have a problem today. They're not building new buildings. We've had a cash crunch and a capital crunch. And most folks today are looking to improve occupancy, but there's a real problem. They have a big cost item, housekeeping. Most of us don't realize it, but those folks that are out making sure our rooms are clean, they're the biggest cost item in a hotel. The largest staff group in a hotel are the housekeepers. They're also the ones that have the most to do with customer satisfaction. So whether or not we're happy, it's not necessarily the breakfast, it's not necessarily the parking, it's whether or not our room was cleaned, our items were not bothered, and that it's available, the room's ready when we get there. But there's a problem. Housekeeping staff is rather unreliable. The folks that clean those rooms typically are transient. Sometimes some are good, some are not as good. And there's also standards that have to be kept up. If you ever stay at a Marriott or at a Hilton or any of the other big branded chains out there, they have standards for those rooms. And a lot of times these housekeepers don't necessarily know what to do. They don't really know how to keep up those standards. And today there's no technology out there to ensure that your rooms are ready, that the people are there, and that the standards are kept. Matter of fact, it's pretty shocking when you go to a hotel and say, show me how you prepare your day for your housekeepers. And what they do is they show you sheets of paper. They print out sheets of paper and hand them to the people, and they walk through the room. They walk down the aisles and knock, 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 housekeeping, knock, 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 housekeeping. I'll even tell you a really scary thing. Has anybody here stayed at a Marriott recently? I flew in from Tulsa today. I stayed in Marriott last night. Their property management system is running on DOS. DOS, you know, that the operating system that was retired in around 90, 91, still today. So supposed to be moving to a more modern system that runs on Windows 3.1. Now, it's unfortunately, they're just now at the point. There's an intersection of availability of technology. There's availability at the mobile level, at the PC level, at the server level. There's cloud technology. So things are starting to change rapidly. Let's talk about premium customers. I think most people here in the room we all like to think we're premium customers. And you know what? I think the hotels strive to make sure everyone feels like a premium customer. But we do expect things. Early check-in, late check-out. Well, that puts even a greater crunch on this problem that they have, trying to find people that can get the rooms ready, trying to make sure that there's inventory available so there isn't an out-of-stock situation. How many people here have also read reviews out at TripAdvisor or on Facebook where it says, I'm really angry, my room wasn't ready, or it was really not clean, or I found, how many people watch 2020 or NBC Dateline where they run that wand over the bed? That's a bit scary. So these are all situations where they're trying to ensure that things are better. Let's move on. So technology, the evolution of hotels. How many people here have experienced, most people probably see the swipe, right? You swipe your key in and out, opens the door. Even better is when you go up and you just touch your key to a magnetic item and it opens the door. And even more so, now there's remote check-in. You can use your mobile app to get in. And hopefully, since we're talking about wearables today, maybe it comes in and it just knows it's me because I've got something on my watch or some other credential to let me in. But those things are changing. The hotel apps have changed the world. How many people have been requested to check in early with their hotel? Marriott's doing that now. It's really neat, just like Delta does. And of course, there's other technology you see in the rooms, USB plugins to tie in HDMI cables plugged into a patch cord that'll push around to your TV. I need to do that. Of course, they don't include an HDMI cable in the room, so that's a problem. These are all things that we can't necessarily solve, but these are problems that they run into. So why is housekeeping the same as everything else? Housekeepers, today I mentioned that they print out sheets of paper. They call them boards. And they just hand them out, and people start walking down the rows, and that's it. They don't know what's been finished when. Maybe around lunchtime they'll have a meetup and say, hey, where are you? I've got these ones done. We need to step it up. So that's a problem. Now, what happens tomorrow when there's an American Girl event at North Point Mall and the Embassy Suites doesn't know? And all of a sudden, there's 80 people that have flown in. I know that this really happens. They've flown in from Nashville, or they've flown in from Charleston, and all of a sudden they need rooms. And they go, oh my gosh, we need 80 rooms, and guess what? There's only 10 available. That's lost revenue for the hotel. And whoever has them available will get the business. The problem is they don't have a way to scale up or scale down. Now, how many people here have wanted a car and needed a taxi in the past, and they stood out looking, and we don't really hitchhike anymore. I don't know why I just did that. But now we have Uber. And when you want something, you can get it. So immediately I can get a taxi when I need it, and the taxi driver can find a rider when they need it. Why don't we have that with hotel rooms? Why can't I find a housekeeper when I want them so that I can scale up or scale down? Also think about all the data that's collected. We should know how long it takes a person to go from room to room, or for how long it takes them to move from floor to floor. We should know who's doing well, who's not doing well, who's a 4.7, who's a 3.2, who's a 5.0. I'm using Uber speak here. Has anybody here ever driven for Uber before? Part of my research for the company, I actually went and drove Uber for a month. I did achieve 4.7. I got scared when they told me I talked too much, so you'll understand if I talk a little too much here tonight. Yep, sure, we'll keep it up. So again, keeping that data up also helps you understand how to better map those people through the system and how to understand what's happening in your hotel. So again, part of the goals of our product, RoomsDone is putting together a product called Tidy Hotel. We want to be able to provide that Uber experience for the hotel operator so that they can staff up and staff down quickly. We want to help them save money. Don't hire people you don't need. Hire them when you need them. And also, by the way, keep within the overtime rules that are now out that keep them limited in what they can hire, and find that excess staff when they need it. Improve CSAT, customer satisfaction, so that you don't have to pay those extra franchise fees for not providing the experience that Marriott, Hilton, and so on expect for their customers. We want to also make sure that we integrate with the property management systems out there. I don't know how we integrate with DOS. That's scary. Luckily, the CTO of the company's right here, so I'm going to, he's nodding no. No, we won't do that, so we'll leave that out. SaaS-based. Most people don't realize today that technology in those hotels is on-premise. Another gentleman that's speaking tonight, we were talking about how this was an opportunity in the 90s, but most people didn't want to spend $40,000 per hotel to put in another piece of software. So SaaS has really opened up the world. And finally, mobile phones. Who doesn't have a mobile phone? Everybody does, including the housekeepers. They probably have a better phone than I do. So the good news is we all value that as a technology in our lives, including every spectrum of the demographics out there. And finish up with my last slide here. Again, we're a startup, soon to launch. We'll have a product on the market soon. We actually have identified our first customer, but most importantly, I think we've found an opportunity to Uberize another market, and it's the hospitality industry and the hotel industry. Again, my name is Steve Youngblood, and look forward to speaking with you in the future. Would love your feedback and help. Thank you.